I have a question, Stuart. Sorry. I have a question, Stuart.
Yes.
Could you talk about so, hum? And the question I have is, I can't remember if I can use that during a stressful time or if I should only do it when I'm in meditation.
Well, you could do both, you know. I mean, you can certainly use so hum. It's very good to use it before the meditation, you know, because the so and the hum, the inhalation, the exhalation, it's going to relax your mind and it's going to enable you to focus better in the chakra below the navel. You know, and then even in the class, you know, sometimes we drift off. If you just listen to your breathing and that's so, when you inhale, hum. When you exhale, it'll bring you back to your focus. And then during the day, you know, you can sit down somewhere and just so hum it, you know, for a few minutes. And there's nothing wrong with that, you know, to quiet your mind and get yourself relaxed and more focused inside, to get rid of the tensions of the day. I mean, you got to realize the meaning of so hum is very profound, you know. When you say so, it's I am hum that. I am one with everything. And our very breathing is so hum. Every time you inhale, you take in life. When you exhale, you're surrendering a part of yourself. So it's a very, you know, it's a very simple exercise, easy to do, and the results can be something really extraordinary if you do it. And it's certainly, as I say, right before class, you know, to just get yourself listening to your breathing, inhalation, exhalation. You can say to yourself, so it'll relax you. It'll really prepare you to do the meditation. I mean, that's an exercise you can use in class, before class, during the day. You can sit down and just listen to your breathing. It really helps. It really helps enormously to do that.
And the difference between something like that and dropping tension, it's just a different way.
It's just another way of getting rid of tension. You know, I mean, in this life, you got to use anything that works.
Exactly.
You can't compare and contrast things. You just, if you drop your arms at your side and please help me to surrender all negative psychic tension. It's also a very good exercise to get rid of the surface tension in you. And so hum, you know, will, you know, very quickly relax your mind. All of these things should be, please try and stop moving. All of these things should be done. I do them. You know, I mean, all of these things are very important because unconsciously we build up so much tension inside ourselves that we need to be able to use these little exercises to get ourselves focused again, to relax ourselves, to not let the tension take over. You know, I mean, all of these things are very important to do and should be done. You know, don't ever take them for granted, you know, use them. I mean, they certainly exercises I learned from my teacher, Rudy. There was another one he taught where you would sit with your hands like this, right at your heart.
Oh, yeah.
And then you would raise your arms up into the, and you allow the energy to come down through the chakras in the hands at the center of the palm. And you allow it to go down the arms into the heart center. And then you drop your arms to your side and you just ask for help to surrender deep negative psychic energy. And it's a very good way of releasing deep energies in the heart center. all of these exercises should be used, you know, they're not, I mean, because tension is such a devious thing and the mind is such a devious place that we have to use everything available to us to get relaxed. And then getting relaxed enables us to focus the attention in the chakra below the navel. I hope this is clear. This is really important, you know. And these are simple exercises. They're not complicated exercises that you got to, you know, mull over and figure out and practice for, you know, 3 months before you can. They're much simpler than the double breathing exercise. But they're
It's
not,
very helpful.
they're not going to take you to the depth that the double breathing exercise takes you when you master it. You're going to get rid of all that surface tension that enables you to then do the double breathing exercise and learn how to master it.
Thank you, Stuart. That's very helpful.
You're welcome. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask?
Stuart?
Yes.
During the holidays and festivals during the year, is there a greater opening to build a stronger connection?
I mean, look, there can be. Are you talking about the Jewish New Year coming?
Well, that's one of them, yeah. I mean, all different cycles during the year.
It's the end of a year in the Jewish religion. It's the beginning of the new. You know, it's the beginning of a new year, a new cycle. I mean, these are always important milestones, you know. But I always say, it's like, you know, I send out birthday wishes to people. And I say, you know, have a very happy and wonderful day. And may this day and every other day of your life be just as wonderful. So it's, you know, we have these holidays and they're supposedly a reminder of renewal, change, embracing the new, growing inside. But if you don't do that the rest of the year, it's, you know, the metaphor doesn't work. The example doesn't work. So I think, you know, Christmas, New Year's, you know, Rosh Hashanah, you know, Kippur, all these holidays are very important. You know, Easter. But at the same time, you know, our work, our meditation practice is supposed to teach us to celebrate every single day as a new year, as a birthday. You know, Christmas, Rosh Hashanah, I mean, there's a lot of people celebrating these holidays. There's going to be a lot of energy, and you can take in that energy, and it really works also.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Does anyone else have a question you would like to ask?
Stuart, I would like to ask you, because this one word keeps coming up. So could you talk about trust?
Yes. I mean, the first person you got to trust is yourself. You got to trust that you were born here to have a really wonderful life. You were born here to be a happy person. You know, you were born here to open to the great treasure that is life, the sacredness of life. And if you don't trust, these things are not going to come. You understand? And, you know, we have to learn how to trust stepping into the unknown. You know, not being afraid of death and rebirth. We have to trust that life is an amazing teacher. And if you don't trust life, you will never learn anything. If you're skeptical and cynical and, rationalizing everything about life, you're never going to learn anything because you know better than life. And that's really kind of dangerous because life's been around here a lot longer than all of us. And it has a lot to teach. So you have to trust that you were born on the earth to learn from life how to grow as a human being and how to become one with God. Now, in order to trust, you have to have a very strong inner life. You have to be really grounded inside. You have to have strength, because there's so much bullshit in this world, that we're up against every single day, that it's difficult to trust life. But the ultimate goal is to get strong enough to where even the bullshit is our teacher. It's our teacher. If it becomes your teacher, then you'll never be hurt by it because it's teaching you what to do to grow in yourself, to be able to deal with all this stuff that goes on in the world. And trust is a very important part of it. And it's something that's really difficult for people to do. Because we've been so conditioned by, what has gone on in our childhood and our, stuff that goes on in the world to be skeptical, to be cynical, to not trust life because of all the crap that's thrown at us in life. Instead of opening our heart, building a system that allows us to embrace the incredible knowledge that life has to give us, every day. And when you begin to see the world that way, everything in the world changes for you. Everything changes inside yourself. And the first place that you have to really trust is you. You weren't born here to be skeptical. It's a terrible way to live. You're so much in your head that you literally can drive yourself crazy. So trust is a major factor in the development of a spiritual life, also the development of our humanity, learning how to trust. People walk through life so frightened of everything, and that fear never allows them to see how sacred life is. What an extraordinary, energy that's there to teach us exactly what we have to learn to get to God. So I think one has to learn to trust. And again, trust is not, well, now today I'm going to trust. That's not, it doesn't work that way. But when you build that inner life and get stronger, the trust automatically comes. You overcome the fear. It's not like you say, well, today I'm going to trust. And the first negative thing that happens to you, since you're running, the trust goes away. No, today I'm going to build an inner life and work at it every day to get strong enough to where that trust comes organically. It's part of the evolution of my inner growth. That's basically how trust comes. It doesn't come because, well, today from now on, I'm going to trust. It doesn't work that way. You have to have an inner life that's strong enough to do it. And once you get an inner life like that, it just comes. You trust. What can life do to me that it already hasn't done? Really. I look at I've been in plane crashes, car wrecks, I've been married and divorced and, all kinds of, endless stuff that would make me cower if it wasn't for this meditation that has built a system inside me that is strong enough to be able to trust everything that's ever happened to me because it's been my teacher.
Thank you, Stuart.
You're welcome. Does anyone else have a...
Stuart, that's so valuable what you just shared. Thank you. And I feel like it correlates with my question. I wanted to ask you about your trip and looking for a new place. And I wanted to ask you what your inner guidance experience is. So in this, say, in looking...
Honest with you, Paula, I don't even know. I don't know. I'm just going to see. I have to start the journey. So this is the beginning of the journey. That's it.
And do you experience a feeling in your gut?
I could have stayed in Texas. I could have done a lot of things in my life. I could have stayed in New York City, but life brought a lot of changes. And now I'm in a position where I see that it's really important for me to have some kind of a center. But I need to find a place to do it. And now the journey is going to start. So I don't know. I really don't know. I'll tell you when I get back what happened. You know, I mean, I'm like a, you know, I'm like a 5-year-old kid. I really am, you know. I trust life. Find the right. It always did. Life has always brought me to the exact place I had to go. I remember when I lived on 13th Street in Manhattan, I had a big loft there with a lot of students, and I had a big trouble with my landlord, you know, when I was living there for 9 years, and I had big trouble, and oh my God, it got crazy. I don't want to go into it. I had to move. And, you know, it took 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. I must have looked at 60 lofts in New York City, and none of them were right. And then one day, you know, Cisa, who was working for me at that time in my gallery, she said, you know, Stuart, there's an ad here in the Village Voice. This might be interesting for you. So I read the ad. It was a 4,000 square foot loft, and it was just around the corner from where I was living. So I went over there. I stepped off. There was a private elevator into the loft, you know. I stepped off the elevator. I took one look at the place and said, I'll take it. That's how my life works. The house I had in Woodstock was, I couldn't believe that house. I mean, it was like a 7,000 square foot, you know, extraordinary place, an architectural dream. The guy told me the price. I said, I'll take it. I mean, that's how my life has always worked. So I'm just opening to what, you know, look, I'm not 30 years old anymore, but I'm opening to what the possibilities will bring in. And it creates an adventure. You never know what's going to come, you know?
Thank you, Stuart.
So I honestly, the only answer I have to that, Paul, is I don't know. I mean, somebody was talking to me yesterday about Portugal, and I've always loved Portugal. I was there when I was younger. It's just a fantastic place. And I thought, whoa.
If you need any information about Portugal, I'm very happy to share. That's where my family's from, and I've been all over it. So yeah.
Okay, yeah, because they were telling me, I said, whoa. So I remember being in Portugal when I was younger, and it was just a glorious place.
Wonderful. It really is.
So I don't know, you know, I trust that life will provide me with exactly what I have to do. I did that all my business life was that. It's still that way, you know? I trust that the universe will take care of my life. And it does, you know?
Thank you, Stuart.
You're welcome. Does anyone else have a question? The only thing I don't like in life is being stuck. I don't like it. I become like a lion, you know, when I feel like I'm being stuck somewhere. So we'll see, you know, we'll see what happens. I made a commitment this year to spend this year with my daughter. She's doing fantastic. You know, for somebody her age, it's just amazing. And now it's time to see what the next adventure is. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? I mean, it's like, Rudy, are your bags packed? We're going to go live 10 years in the Middle East. He said, okay. You know, I mean, he had that same kind of energy, you know. There was the teacher of the Aquarian age there, you know, and he was told by some psychic that he would train the teacher of the Aquarian age. And he mentioned that he might be in Egypt and Cairo, and he wanted me to go with him. And I said, okay. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Because the real answer to this whole, you know, is inside ourselves, our connection with God, and the willingness to let go and surrender in such great depth that we make room for higher energy to guide our life. It's not like, okay, I'm leaving, you know, I'm going, I'm going to walk out of my family, my job. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about such deep surrender inside that the universe, God, whatever, it begins to guide one's life. And that will never be at the detriment of anyone else. Or never keep you from loving the people that are very importantly in your life. Are there any more questions? Okay, well, there won't be a class tomorrow, but there will be a class on Wednesday. And I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. God bless you for being here, for, God's sake, putting up with me. God bless you for being here. And I, you know, in all humility, it's just a tremendous amount of love in my heart for all of you and everyone who makes an effort attending these classes and growing and trying to have a spiritual life. I mean, it's just a bless you all. Thank you. And I'm looking forward to seeing everybody.
Happy Rosh Hashanah.
Safe travel. Safe travel.
We're so happy for your trip.
Thank you.
Stuart.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bon voyage.
Love you, Stuart.